Welcome to the real world. Whoa!
Mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with
Breathe air.
there's no second best, okay?
GM. GM. Breathe air. So, what are we looking at here? BTC. Alright, so I think that despite the fact that there's a potential top here, I'll get me a fresh chart. I do expect probably that we continue to hold, as in the short term, if Bitcoin drops down, it is dropping down into demand from this level here. And I don't think that it will break. If it does go lower, I don't think it will break down right away. I would expect this area to have quite strong support, at least initially. And I wouldn't rule out another push to the highs. So I think either today or tomorrow, we're going to see some kind of just continued chop and then maybe a drop, but then it holds and comes back up. And actually, if it's going to roll over, it'll be after. So I'm not a big believer in just straight down. I mean, could happen. I would guess that if we see a strong sell-off, that would actually hold and we'd bounce back up and then it would roll over later on if it's going to go down. So a couple of ways of trading it. In terms of breakouts, you have to look at short-term momentum, which is waning here. Right, again, it's like these things where Bitcoin followed the 1 hour EMAs all the way up, this 1 hour trend, and that's gone now. It's now red. So you're starting to see lower time frame momentum that was previously there starting to disappear. A few areas to watch. So my main view is that obviously until this area breaks, there's no deeper correction. I think we can absolutely go back down towards this support for a very simple reason. Anyone who's getting long here has stops there if they bought that breakout. Anyone who puts stops there is at risk. And we have a big demand zone below. So it's very easy, even if it's bullish, it's very easy to just go and clean up these stops first before going higher. So down is more likely than up in the short term because of this over leverage in the short term. But that doesn't have to be a bearish thing. I do think we'll revisit these areas first. The signs you're seeing of immediate continuation momentum, the 1 hour bands losing momentum there would be a sign of that. The 15-minute trend, which again was held all the way up, and each time it was retested, it made new highs, and it retested, and it made new highs. It retested here, it did not make new highs. It retested here, it did not make new highs. It's about to retest the 200 again, and if it goes maybe another hour or two, these bands will start to cross. So you're looking at each of your individual trend dynamics. We had our cross back here on the EMAs on the 4 hour, and they're all well fanned out and haven't even been retested. I mean, price can come down and retest those and still remain bullish from a trend perspective. However, when you zoom out, Bitcoin is not in a trend, it's in an upwards consolidation. So it's not the same as a coin that is broken out and trending. I've said this, all along. Bitcoin is producing trends within a range, and it seems like it's going to be coming back towards some of those areas. You don't want to see slow grinds down after taking out highs and failing once, twice, 3 times to reclaim that high. A slow grind down is going to end with some kind of bigger spike, generally. So typically the best pullbacks that are to be bought in bullish trends because again, we have to go back a while to see a bullish trend, have a pretty quick move. So this was bullish at least until 70. 1 hour trend moves up, 50 gets hit, touched right away. Makes the highs, come back, consolidates around the bands, goes higher. This started to form a distribution top. If you look at, again, let's take it this way. People are talking about this being the fucking, all-time high breakout coming. Well, if so, you should not see the 1 hour trend fail. Okay, and neither of these examples did the 1 hour trend fully cross. So that was a very strong 1 hour trend, where the 50 never crossed the 200. So we got lengthy consolidation at high levels into those bands. So that would be something to watch over the coming days. If you start to see this kind of thing here and it's just like that, and the 1 hour trend, the 50 never crosses the 200, but they get close, and then Bitcoin starts to move there, and you're 5 or 6 days on from here, very hard for that not to be bullish. So that's like the best thing you could see in a bull path. In between now and then, I expect it to be very choppy, because even though I think there's probably a bit too much long positioning that needs to be flushed, if we see a drop, it's probably going to induce people again, oh no, we were wrong, let's get short again, and bounces up. So I expect it to be choppy before we have an eventual move, trend direction, in one direction or the other. A trend day, so we had Monday was green, Tuesday was green, Wednesday it was green, but not a trending day. So you can see Wednesday's open here, there, right? Yesterday's open is where we're coming back to at the moment. And yesterday moved up, consolidated, tried to break out, came back inside. So no trend, even though it was a green day. It closed green, but not a trend. Tuesday, again, I'd argue wasn't really a trend day, but, you know, it's kind of, you can argue both ways, right? Tuesday opened with a down move, tried to break out, flushed and failed, but by the end of the day, closed here. So opened there, closed here. Not really a trend day. If you're on the meaner version weekend workshop, you'll know that. From the top to bottom versus the body, from the open to the close, the majority of the move was not trending, right? You had quite a bit of a wick, quite a bit of a wick. So the last trend day we really had was Monday. And therefore, if we go below, which we're doing right now, if we go below yesterday's open, that's a potential sign of the reversal of trend. If we go below Tuesday's open, that's a definite failure of all of this. It's no longer trending at that point. And really, it's hard to look at any short-term trend here and say that it's intact. So if we start to move to those areas, that's when you're looking at Bitcoin to reach the green box around into that area, probably holds first time, and you'll see the reaction from that. Again, there's nothing really bearish about this yet. I've said this a million times. I think it is going to pull back. I think it can go lower into the 60s or 58s. But that is something that needs to, a lot more needs to happen for that to be the case. Otherwise, it can just chop around. So we'll have a better idea after the next few hours. I would say today's New York session will be quite informative. I'm probably not super interested in taking a trade either way today, unless something really jumps off the page. I think the better trades will come if this ends up being, so if this was not the beginning of a move beyond 70, then it's most likely going to come all the way back to here at least, right? And if that's the case, I don't think it happens today or tomorrow. Maybe it's over the weekend, maybe it's next week. But I think that unwind move, because remember, positions build, chasing happens. If it's not a trend, it unwinds. The unwind part is the part that's worth trading, not this choppy shit at the top. Because again, Bitcoin can absolutely chop around here and look bad and look good and look bad and look good and then just go higher. So, and especially from a higher time frame perspective, it is a bullish chart. Right? It is building up nicely. It has done a long time at the lows and failed to go lower. It has built nicely through the range. It is getting close to breaking out. So there's no reason why Bitcoin couldn't go higher. And I wouldn't be like these high time frame bears. But if there's going to be shorts, I think they come in this kind of red box over here. Now, you have to be mindful. And, I'm going to say this, but this is not what I expect at all. You have to be mindful that the market gets smarter. People unwind positions faster. There is a chance that if this starts to unwind, it just unwinds really quickly, as everyone just essentially gives up on the idea and gets out as quickly as possible, because they know that if it breaks here, it's going to go there, and if it goes there, it's going to go there, and you just get this mass unwinding of positions. Could happen fast. It's always a possibility. Maybe. We'll see how that goes. But overall, that's what I'm looking at today. In terms of breakout attempts, has to reclaim today's daily open at the bare minimum, 67.6. But yeah, I think we're in for a bit of pullback / chop. GM.